Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Delights. Today, let's see how to make a restaurant style tomato soup at home, but let's make a healthier and a quicker version without any artificial colors or thickeners. This is just the quick fix you need for the upcoming winters. Before we go ahead, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get our latest recipes. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start by chopping up our tomatoes. I have taken fully ripe and hybrid tomatoes here. First, let's take the eye out, and we don't need to chop it too proper, but try to keep all the pieces of around the same size so that they can cook evenly. I'm chopping them up into large chunks. If you're in a hurry, you can just chop them up into smaller pieces and that should cook much faster. But personally, I like to keep the pieces bigger so that the onions and the tomatoes get enough time to go soft as soft as possible. Now you can also use tomato puree or canned tomatoes, but the results that you get with fresh tomatoes are just so much better. I'm sure you'll see for yourself. Also, see that you only take fully red and ripe tomatoes so that you get the best flavor and the best color, as we don't want to use any artificial additives. You can see the tomatoes are done. Let's move on to the onions. The same goes for the onions. Let's just roughly chop it up about the same size of the tomatoes. And then separate the petals. You can do it in the pan, that's fine. For every 5 to 6 tomatoes, you will need one small onion. Okay, now for the garlic. You can see the pods are intact. I'm just going to lightly crush them. You can chop it, but there's a chance that they change color very fast in the hot oil, which you don't want at all, as it changes the flavor as well. So for this recipe, about 5 to 6 cloves should be good. Okay, now let's heat our pan, and I'm going to add some olive oil to it. You can add regular oil, that's fine. Now to that, some butter. It's about a tablespoon. You can add more if you like. But make sure that you add both the butter and the oil so that the butter does not burn. Once it starts melting, let's add the onions. Remember, the butter should not be too hot at this point, otherwise the onions will get a color which we absolutely don't want. Okay, let's mix it. And let's add the garlic. Adding it whole like that. Remember, we crushed it. Again, we don't want a color on it, but make sure that everything sweats properly. Give it a toss. And once everything is fragrant, I'm going to add the tomatoes. Make sure everything is well coated in all that butter and oil. And keep the flame on medium high. Okay, this looks good. Let's cover it. And I'm going to let it cook. check it every 2 to 3 minutes and make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Give it a stir every time you check. You can see they're slowly going soft and the color is going a little deeper. Let's cover it again. Okay, it's been about 7-8 minutes. Gone a little more soft. I'm going to add a little water. Remember, don't add too much. This is just to ensure that nothing sticks to the bottom. You can always adjust the consistency later. Cover it again and let's leave it to cook. It's been about 12-13 minutes. Everything looks good, nice and mushy. Everything is cooked. Okay, let's turn the heat off. I'm gonna let this cool completely and then let's blend. I've transferred it to the grinder and now let's blend it. You can see this is a very smooth paste, very silky. You can even pass it to a sieve if you want. I haven't, and I've poured it back into the same pan. I'm adding some water to the grinder and I'm just going to pour it back into the pan. This is about a cup or more, and let's turn the heat back up to high. Mix the water in properly. You can see how smooth this is. This is a very natural red color. You can add some artificial red food coloring if you wanted to look restaurant style, but personally I just love this gorgeous orange color. Okay, I'm adding some salt now. You can see it's coming to a boil. And remember, we haven't added any seasoning until now except for the salt and the butter. So adjust accordingly. And we need to keep the mixture a little thick. Add some chili flakes if you like it to be spicy. Very little at first because remember, it's going to get spicier as it starts boiling. Again, it's a personal choice. Don't add it if you don't like the soup to be spicy. And now some pepper. I'm using finely ground pepper. You can add coarsely ground too. Give it a good mix. And some mixed dried herbs now. You can just add plain basil. And I'm adding a spoonful of sugar. It's only to cut the tanginess of the tomatoes. And this is going to give that typical balanced tomato soup taste. Give it a good mix. You can see it has come to a good boil. And see, it's not too thick. Turning the heat back off. You can add some water if you want and give it a boil again. But this looks perfectly fine to me now. And let's serve it. This recipe is going to serve about 2 to 3 people. You can see the consistency and the color. And I'm just going to serve it with some croutons. And there you have it. Your restaurant style but healthy, easy and a quick tomato soup is ready. Hope you like the video. Please like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. For the detailed recipe, visit our website www.theeverydaydelights.com. The link is in the description below. Thank you. See you next time with another recipe.